Alrighty, and then the last thing I want to do for today's show is talk about some win probability, folks. What is going to happen this week, tomorrow, folks, during the 1s, the 4s, the entire day of NFL football. So, NFL puts this video up, a 3-minute video, and they kind of show, hey, this is our probability of who's probably going to win the game. This is kind of what the score is going to be, and we'll see, are we right or are the machines right? And then when we go through these matchups as well, there are a couple of urgent situations that we truly need to see great performances out of some teams or some players here. So we're going to kind of give our what we need to see out of definitely Baker Mayfield. That's definitely going to be the biggest main takeaway here of this week. What is Baker Mayfield doing? Because these last 2 performances has been absolutely trash. So we're going to kind of set a bar that we really need to see Baker Mayfield. And there are some other teams and players that we kind of will set a bar of what we truly need to see to buy back into them heading into week 6. So we'll talk all that through while we watch this. But let's remind you of our picks here, because we'll see, if our picks are right. Are the machines agreeing with our picks, or is NFL.com's algorithm not kind of going along with our picks? So here we go. Our picks, we got 6 picks. We do 3 picks in 2 categories. Our locks category, which we feel obviously confident about. There are locks. And then our 99% guarantees, which we feel so confident about, but there is maybe one thing potentially, possibly, maybe that goes wrong that affects potentially maybe the game and our bet. But we still feel very confident. So our 3 locks are Panthers -3, Chiefs -3, Cardinals -4.5. And I want to see what this line is now, because now we're starting to see maybe Jimmy G doesn't play. And we locked in the value at Cardinals -4.5. We did kind of factor that in when we were making our picks. So let me just quickly update this line right here and see what the new line is for this 49ers Cardinals game. And now it's Cardinals -5, so maybe Trey Lance is definitely playing here. You got to lock in that value when you see it, folks. We talk about that all the time. Value can come and go just like that. Secure it while you can. Now you got to get that extra half a point, folks. Unfortunate. But those are our 3 locks: Panthers -3, Chiefs -3, and Cardinals -4.5. And then in our 99% guarantees, we've got Titans -4, Washington +2.5, and the Chargers -2. So let's see what NFL.com's algorithm and probability are saying about our picks and what's going to happen this week in the NFL. So here we go. First matchup up here is one of our picks here. And wow, okay, they are not agreeing with us right here. Here we go. Bills at Chiefs right here, and they have the Bills winning this game outright 28-27, and the cover probability is at 55% with them +3. The win probability is at 51%. So obviously the machines are not agreeing with us here, but that's fine. I think we're the only one that is 100% not buying into this Bills team, and not for. And for the reason of not the defense. The Bills defense is fantastic. It's top 3, maybe even top 1. I would kind of agree. You make the argument. I would maybe agree with that. But Josh Allen settling for field goals in the offense, kind of getting out to slow starts against mediocre teams against no quarterbacks. Dolphins didn't have a quarterback. They knocked them out. Once again, great by the defense, but then you leave the door open, and if Tua was still out there, I don't know if the Bills win that game. And then against the Texans, once again, it's Davis Mills. Congratulations. You shut out Davis Mills. That's not hard to do, but you were only up, 17-0 in the first half, and you stalled on some drives, truly not closing out the door. Once again, if Tyrod Taylor was in that game, I think he takes advantage of the lackluster kind of scoring start here and Josh Allen's kind of lackluster play in the first half. Yes, they cleaned it up in the second half, and then we get the big scores. Would they beat the Dolphins by 35 points, and then they blow out the Texans 40-0. So yeah, you get the big game because of that, but it took until the second half, and if you have an accurate quarterback, they're going to make that game competitive and tough, and yeah, then it's not going to result into the blowout in the second half. So, all right, the machines are against us, but we're still standing firm in this Chiefs -3. I think this is a big, I would kind of call it a blowout, at least a 10-point win here for the Chiefs, and I think the Bills' offense struggles here. So the machines aren't with us, but that's fine. We'll see who's right on Monday, us or the machines, folks. All right, let's see what else is next up here. Next game up, we get the 49ers and the Cardinals. Once again, our pick as well. So they've got the final score being Cardinals winning by 5, and now that's the new spread. Go figure, right? So Cardinals win 28-23 by 5. They say the win probability is at 56%, and the cover probability is at 51%. So that's definitely not any great percentage right there. Kind of, 51-49%, basically 50-50 right there. But if Jimmy Garoppolo plays, I can see this kind of being the score right here. But if Trey Lance plays, which we are kind of gearing up for, and maybe Jimmy Garoppolo not being at 100% with that calf, so he's not able to move around in the pocket, you get the defensive edge rushers here of J.J. Watt and Chandler Jones for the Cardinals, sacking Jimmy Garoppolo, who's immobile. And if he gets knocked out of the game, we just watched Trey Lance in our Wednesday film study. That man can't play yet. Not yet. He's not ready to start. Not yet. Not like Justin Fields, who has been ready for the last 5 weeks out here. So machines are kind of with us on this one. It's going to be a close one, but the Cardinals, man, the way their offense has been playing here, Kyler Murray moving the ball down the field easily, and the fact that they had no turnovers last week when they had kind of a turnover-filled week 2 and week 3, they're cleaning that up. They're back at home against a division rival. I think this is going to be another big win here for the Cardinals. Alrighty, next game up here is the Browns and the Chargers, and once again, our pick here. We like the Chargers minus 2.5, and NFL says this final score is going to be 24-23 Browns. Win probability very, very close here at 51% for the Browns. Let's see what the cover probability is. And they say the cover probability is at 55% here for the Browns because they are the +2 there. But, we've been seeing Baker Mayfield, and now we have to talk about Baker Mayfield. We have to set a bar of what we need to see out of Baker Mayfield for us to rebuy him. We buy this Browns team, folks. Don't get us wrong. The running game is absolutely fantastic. The receivers are great. The defense, is fantastic as well. Maybe the best thing about this team. And Kevin Stefanski, folks, I mean, this man, he can call plays. The man knows how to scheme offense. I would say one of the best head coaches in the league. I've got no problem saying that. Kevin Stefanski, give that man some credit. But Baker Mayfield is holding this team back a little bit. So let's get his performances up here for the last 2 games. Obviously very, very lackluster overall. Obviously, in the completion percentage has been absolutely not great. I mean, look at this. The first 2 games, 75% completion percentage, 90% completion percentage. We love that. We loved it. That's why we were riding high on Baker Mayfield and the Browns for the first 2 weeks. But then week 3 came. He had 61% completion percentage. It's not nothing. It's good, but it needs to be better. We need to see you in like 63 to 67% range throughout every single game. I mean, that's really what we need to see out of great quarterbacks. And if Baker Mayfield wants to be this great quarterback, he's got to get up there consistently. And that's what we haven't seen by Baker Mayfield so far, is the consistency. So 61% completion percentage game 3. He still threw 246 yards, which was good, and didn't have a turnover, which was all good, and it results into a win. That's why, people in the mainstream media aren't kind of knocking and harping on this Browns team like we are. But like we say, we do everything for a reason, and we look at everything, folks. On Monday, we're looking at every single game, every single player, how they scored, when they scored, what was the quarterbacks throwing to, were they dinking and dunking, were they airing it out? We look at all that, and I don't think that's kind of something that the mainstream media does. So they're just saying 3-1 record. Baker Mayfield overall really solid, not really turning over the ball, but we have to go a little bit more in depth. So week 3, not the worst, definitely a lot better than what he just did last week. 45% completion percentage. That's absolutely ridiculous. And why was Kevin Stefanski letting this man throw 33 times? That's kind of uncharacteristic. Kevin Stefanski kind of knows Baker Mayfield's a little limited in his game, a little bit of a game managing quarterback, above average game managing quarterback, not a Tom Brady, not an Aaron Rodgers, A1 tier ones that can single-handedly sling the ball 45 times and win the game just based off of them. Baker Mayfield needs a little bit of help for the running game, the scheme-wise, offensively, and some nice weapons. And that's not a knock on Baker Mayfield. Not everybody can be A1, Tier 1. Ryan Tannehill, Baker Mayfield are kind of the 2 quarterbacks that we classify as above-average game managers. And Ryan Tannehill got to the AFC Championship game. That's not a knock, folks. But last week, 45% completion percentage. 155 yards, no touchdown, no pick. I mean, that's just real lackluster. So we really need to see. Let's get here we go. The bar that we need to see out of Baker Mayfield this week, folks. We're going to write it down. We're going to have it on the record here. So here we go. We really need to see 64% and higher. I got to see 64% higher completion percentage. We got to see 200. I'll even set the bar that low. I don't even need to see him throw like 300 plus yards because I know that's not Baker Mayfield's game. So only give me 230 yards. 230 yards passing. That's all. And I'm even going to do, once again, low here. 1 touchdown. No picks. We can't see any turnovers. If he has 1 pick, then he has to throw 3 touchdowns. So we'll classify that. We really only need to see 1 passing touchdown, 0 interceptions. But if he throws 1 interception, then he needs to have three touchdowns. So that's the bar. That's not unachievable, folks. That's really kind of easy to achieve. We just need to get this man back on track to buy him a little bit more so we don't have this bad taste in our mouth anymore. Get rid of this bad taste in our mouthwash, Baker Mayfield, come on. So 64% completion percentage, 230 yards, 1 touchdown, no pick. But if he throws a pick, we need to see 3 touchdowns instead. So that's the bar, what we need to see out of Baker Mayfield. And if he performs under that bar, we're still going to have bad taste, and we will continue to kind of fade Baker Mayfield. Maybe not the team, but definitely the quarterback. So we like the Chargers -2. We don't think Baker Mayfield gets back on track. We just saw this Chargers defense against the Raiders, high-flying offense, and they kind of shut it down in the first half. So that was really solid. And this Chargers team has a little extra rest on their hands because they were the Thursday night game. So, or no, hey, did I get that wrong? Were they Monday? Hang on. Let me get I've got so many games, folks, in the head. What was this? It was Monday, so they don't have the time. So all right, but we still like the Chargers here because we don't expect Baker Mayfield to be that good. So they don't have the extra rest here, the Chargers, which will go against them. But I do think the defense will be able to make up for that, and we'll see what Baker Mayfield does on the road, folks. I'm not buying it quite yet. All right, let's go on to our next matchup here. What do we got? Alrighty, Packers and Bengals, and folks, we love the Bengals +3, and the machines are agreeing with us, folks. We just compared the Green Bay offense and the Bengals offense yesterday when we made our official predictions. That gave us the confidence to pick the Bengals +3. I think that's fantastic value, folks, at home and getting 3. And this Bengals team is the real deal, folks. They're 3-1. You got to give them some respect. And we just watched we just looked at the numbers offensively here. We can redo it again. I still got them up. No worries here. Here it is, folks. Look at these offensive totals by the Packers and the Bengals. The offenses are basically similar, and the Bengals are even a little bit better. They both, Packers have put up 95 points so far. Bengals have put up 92. So they're scoring at the same pace. 1,272 yards for the Packers overall offensively. 1,302 yards offensively by the Bengals. So they have more yards, 3 less points, but overall, we're getting 3. So that's fantastic, right? Passing game, same kind of thing. Aaron Rodgers, 902 passing yards. Joe Burrow, 910. Kind of a little better, 8 yards better. How crazy. Aaron Rodgers, 8 picks, 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow, 9 how did I say that? Aaron Rodgers, 8 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Joe Burrow, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. So he is turning the ball over a little bit more. Let's clean that up. Hopefully he doesn't throw a pick this game. And then the rushing yards, 370 rushing yards by the Packers, 3 rushing touchdowns. And the Bengals, 392 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So overall, these offenses are basically the same here. Joe Burrow is doing the same thing Aaron Rodgers is. And we get Joe Burrow at home, Aaron Rodgers on the road. That's, usually where it gets a little tricky here for Aaron Rodgers. He's usually very, very good at home, but on the road, this is where we get these 2 interception games back to back, and then he kind of calls it quits. So I'm loving the Bengals +3 here. NFL.com is agreeing. They call the game 27-25 Green Bay, but we get the 3, folks. That's 28-27. That's a win, folks. And they put the cover probability at 51%, basically because, they're only winning by 2 there. So I'm loving that the machines are agreeing with us on this one. I love it. And go out and take the Bengals +3, folks. Think it's great value. Maybe one of the best underrated recognized values of this entire week, I would say. Alrighty, here we go. Let's go to the next game up here. Giants and the Cowboys. And y'all know I love the Giants. Y'all know we love the Cowboys here. I just don't want to swallow. What is the spread? Is it still 7? I think it may have went down to 6.5 here. The spread is, it's back up to 7. I think it dipped a little bit yesterday. Once again, value, folks. Got to secure it. Got it under that touchdown hook at only Cowboys minus 6.5. That would have been where the value to get it at. But now it's back up to Cowboys minus 7. So get the value while you can. But here we go. NFL.com predicts this game at Cowboys winning 31-22 over the Giants, with the win probability at 67% and the cover probability at 53% since they only win by 9 points. So Cowboys here looking fantastic at home. Giants just kind of finally got it going last week, but are they going to be able to kind of keep it going, especially against this Cowboys defense on the road? We saw them kind of get it done, and the Giants last week didn't get it done until the fourth quarter. So once again, we've seen this Giants team off to the slowest of starts so far through the first 3 games. And then last week, it took them really until the fourth quarter when they were down by like 10 points, 2 possessions to really kick it into high gear. And then they were able to win it in overtime, which is great. But this Cowboys defense is better than the Saints. They are ball hawks. They take the ball away. We love this Cowboys. We can't even talk about this Cowboys team enough, folks. We have them number 2 in our power rankings. We feel so strongly about this Cowboys team in general, and just this Giants offense is not there yet, man. It's just not there. They show some glimpses, and we saw that in our Wednesday film study, but overall, it's just not what it needs to be to consistently win and be competitive. So we're loving the Cowboys here. Just don't want to kind of play around with the 7-point spread right there. That's why it's not one of our official picks, but we absolutely love them, and NFL.com says they win as well. Alrighty here, Colts at Ravens. Like the Ravens here, once again, it's a lot to swallow there. I think this one is still at Ravens minus 7. Monday Night Football here. Ravens minus 6.5. So, hey, you get it under that half-a-point hook. This is where the value is, folks. I believe this did open at Ravens minus 7. So, this is the value. If you're going to bet this game, get it now. This is where the value is. We will still stay away from it. We like the Ravens here. We don't believe in Carson Wentz really at all. So, NFL.com says the Ravens win the game 28-19. Win probability is at 70% for the Ravens, just winning straight up. And yeah, I kind of agree. Carson Wentz on the road. Carson Wentz hasn't been good at home. We're not really going to see him be good on the road. And we just saw their one road matchup. They lost by 3 points, or they won by 3 points on the road. Is that correct? Let's double check that quickly. Colts on the road. They lose by 9 against the Titans. So, yikes. But yeah, Colts here. We don't believe in Carson Wentz. We have sold Carson Wentz 100%. We're off of him. All these injuries, it's enough now. It's truly enough. And this Ravens offense, they're moving the ball with Lamar Jackson, and this Colts defense, I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the dual threat ability that Lamar Jackson has. So Ravens also have the chance to set the rushing record for most consecutive 100-yard rushing games this season, or for through a stretch. They're at like 46, 45 games. So Ravens are predicted to win 28-19, and the cover probability of the spread is at 52% because the Ravens, by the time they made this video, I think they said the last time they updated the odds were at like Tuesday or Wednesday. So it's still, like we said, opened up at Ravens minus 7, and they had them winning by 9 points. So that's where the cover probability comes into. But yeah, we don't believe in this Colts team anymore, and neither does NFL.com. So once again, right on the same page. Alrighty, next game up here. What do we got? Dolphins at Bucks. And yes. Don't take the Dolphins here. Their offense is trash. They won't be able to move the ball. They have no quarterback. I don't even think they get to 18 points. This is a little bit beneficial here by NFL.com of the Dolphins. I don't think they put up 18 points. I don't even know if they put up 1 point, honestly. So they say the Bucks win 29-2. 18. The win probability is at 72%, and the spread is at 10. So the win probability is going to only be at 51% since they say the Bucs win by 11. But I'm sure the Bucs win by a lot more. Tom Brady frustrated that he had no passing touchdowns against Bill Belichick's defense in the high-profile game, obviously. So I think he takes it out on the next best thing, which is an old division rival in the Dolphins. So I think this is going to be a bad day for the Dolphins. I think their defense tries to keep them into it, but like we've been seeing this Dolphins team in the second half, yes, the defense keeps them close in the game in the first half, but then when the defense sees that the offense is just consistently not moving the ball and capitalizing on the takeaways that the defense created in the short field that the defense created, they kind of subconsciously kind of give up in the second half, and that's when all the kind of big scoring of the opposing teams really start to score really only in the second half. So I'm assuming that's how this game plays out as well. Jacoby Brissett is not the answer. I would definitely start Sinnett, our third string quarterback, and hope that Tua can bring us to the promised land next week when hopefully he's back out onto the field. But yeah, I think this is generous here by NFL.com. Bucs minus 10 I think is great value. Alrighty, next game up here is the Bears and the Bears at the Raiders here. Once again, NFL.com, I don't know if they're just playing the game here. I mean, because so far, all these kind of projections are right basically around the spread line. So, do they truly mean these numbers, or are they just trying to, put something out there? I don't know. But let's keep going here. Bears at Raiders here. Justin Fields playing and going to be the starter for the rest of the season. Thank goodness. But NFL.com predicts the score at 26-21 Raiders, and we know the spread is like 5.5. Let's see. Yeah, it's 5.5 here. Is it still 5.5, or did it drop down to 5? Yeah, it's still at 5.5, so okay. But yeah, cover probability is only at 51% because 5.5. They win by 5. So that's where the cover probability comes from. We're expecting good things out of here for Justin Fields. Hopefully he can get it done. Raiders, they have to get back on track a little bit here. They definitely need to win this game to kind of put last game against the Chargers kind of out of the mind, because we've seen this Raiders team flounder as the season progresses over the last 2 seasons. Raiders out to a hot start this season, just like the last 2 seasons. So they really just need to keep it going, keeping their foot on the pedal so they don't flounder at any point this season. But this Bears defense, they forced a lot of turnovers and kind of getting it done in the red zone against the Lions last week. So this is going to be a great game to watch. I don't even know what I would stay away from this bet. 5.5 is not good value, I don't think, either way. So I would highly advise to stay away from this one. NFL.com says Raiders win by 5, spreads 5.5. There's no value there, folks. All right, then we get the Saints at Washington, and we've got to have another kind of bar set here on Jameis Winston. Can we get this man throwing the ball, please? Jeez Louise, folks. Let's look at Jameis Winston's overall yards per game, because I think he's only thrown for more than 200 yards in one game, and that's not what we know of Jameis Winston. We know this man is a true gunslinger, and Sean Payton is not letting this man be the true gunslinger that we know he is, and the Saints offense is kind of paying the price for that. When have we seen a Sean Payton-led offense be this lackluster in the passing game? We know he has Drew Brees, but we know what Jameis Winston can do. 5,000 yards in a season, absolutely spectacular. 30-plus touchdowns, absolutely spectacular. The only bad thing was the 30-plus interceptions, but he can move the ball down the field. We've seen him do that. So he's being a little lackluster here. Is that on Sean Payton, or is that on Jameis Winston not trying to commit all the turnovers? So he's being a little kind of, I don't even know. He's being a little timid to air out the ball, because he knows once those interceptions come out, the narrative in the media will be like, oh, it's the same old Jameis Winston. He's back to throwing all these interceptions. But let's see what Jameis Winston has been doing these first 4 games, and we've got to set a bar for this man, because we've got to see this passing offense start to develop. And it's not like they don't have any pieces, and that's going to be another thing that we're going to have to set a bar on. Can we get Marquez Callaway more than like 1 catch a game? But let's start here with Jameis Winston, and then we'll get to Marquez Callaway. So here we go. Jameis Winston. 148 yards game 1, 111 yards game 2, 128 yards game 3, and finally 226 yards in game number 4. So finally we get a 200-yard game, but it resulted into a loss, so that's not great. So we really want to see out of Jameis Winston, like basically 280 yards. I'll set the bar a little bit low. I won't put it officially at 300 yards passing, but I got to see 280 passing yards out of Jameis Winston, folks. I don't even care about the interceptions. I just want to see this man air out the ball consistently from the first quarter to the fourth quarter, not, for one play. The only reason why he has 226 yards here is because he opened up the second half with like a 70-yard bomb. So you take away 60, 70 yards here, and then he's back exactly around where he's at. So we've got to see 280 yards out of him. Throw 4 interceptions, 5 interceptions, I don't care. Just throw 280 plus yards, please. And then for Marquez Callaway, because Jameis Winston has shown, who did he hit that big bomb to in the second half, the 70 yards that we just told you to shave off of his yard totals from last game? He went to Marquez Callaway. And who did Jameis Winston go to win the starting job in the preseason games? Marquez Callaway. Remember, game 2, 40-yard bomb to Marquez Callaway, touchdown. 40-yard bomb to Marquez Callaway, touchdown. Why is Sean Payton not scheming? You don't have Michael Thomas yet back, so why are we not utilizing everybody that they've got? So let's go to Marquez Callaway. Career stats here to bring up what his targets were through the first 4 games and how many catches he has. This one's a little bit more on Sean Payton, and Sean Payton, this kind of goes for Sean Payton as well. When we talked about Jameis Winston, you've got to call the plays for Jameis, and Jameis has to take those shots down the field vertically, stretching the field vertically. We just saw Geno Smith do it. There's no reason why Jameis Winston should not be doing it. So let's talk about Marquez Callaway here. He should be the main target. He should be getting 8 to 10 targets a game, folks. That's what A1 tier 1s get. DeAndre Hopkins is getting, 10 to 12 to 15 targets a game. What did DK Metcalf just get last game? Here we go. Nope, this is not the game. What is this game? This is the game right here. Okay. DK Metcalf, how many targets he have just last game? He only had 5. But Tyler Lockett had 10. This is what we need to see Marquez Callaway at. And DK Metcalf went 5 for 5. So that's fantastic out of him. 100% catch percentage. Love it. But here we go. Game 1, Marquez Callaway, 2 targets, 1 reception. What? Game 2, 4 targets, 2 receptions, a little bit more. Game number 3, 5 targets, 4 receptions. This is what we're saying. I mean, when he's targeted, when the route's open for him, Jameis Winston is going to go to him. 4 targets, and then he's going to catch it. 5 targets, 4 receptions. Fantastic. And then last game, 2 targets, 2 receptions for 74 yards. But like we said, that big touchdown catch right there. Or it didn't go for a touchdown. It was like 2 yards short. It gets down inside like the 10, 5-yard line. But the same thing still goes there. So just got to get this man. Can we get this man 10 targets? I'll even lower it a little bit. Can we get 8 targets here? We can build upon it. We don't need everything right now. We'll set a lower bar here. We're setting these bars so we can start buying these teams and these players and these coaches a little bit more. So we won't even make it 10. We'll make it 8. 8 targets, please. Can you scheme Marquez Callaway open Sean Payton, please, please. We know what happens when you throw to the man. It's big, explosive plays. He can win the one-on-one matchup. He can win the 50-50 balls. Throw this man the ball. Jameis, scheme this man open Sean, and you'll have no problem winning these games. Jeez Louise. So, the bar for Jameis Winston, 280 yards. The bar for Marquez Callaway, 8 targets at minimum, folks, at minimum. Back to the game here, and another one of our picks where we're getting points here, and NFL.com agrees with us, folks. Fantastic. We love Washington plus 2.5 here, and they had them winning straight up 24-23 over the Saints. So NFL.com is predicting that Jameis Winston doesn't reach his bar, that Marquez Callaway doesn't reach his bar, which is unfortunate, and we'll be, in the same position here next week, screaming at Sean Payton and Jameis Winston to get it together. So, Washington wins 24-23. Cover probability is at 54%. We're getting points here, folks, with the home team and a lackluster passing offense in the Saints. Did y'all just watch Taylor Heineke last week? Because we did. We watched him in our Wednesday film study. kind of fantastic. We loved it. Airing out the ball. What did Taylor Heinicke have last week? Do we got to bring that up? Because the fact that Taylor Heinicke has more yards than Jameis Winston does in a game is kind of a little ridiculous, don't you think? I mean, Jameis Winston, we know what this man can do. Taylor Heinicke started like 4 or 5 games in his entire career. Come on. Taylor Heinicke, what was his official yards last week? I want to say it was like 360. I want to say it was like that much. Let's double check our numbers right here. 290. So that's what we expect out of James Winston. 280. If Taylor Heinicke is putting up 290 in a game, he did throw 336 game 2 as well. James Winston is nowhere near these numbers. Get it together. Get it together. Taylor Heinicke has 1 game under 200 yards passing. James Winston has 1 game more than 200 yards passing. Come on. This is the bizarro world. This is upside down. It should be the opposite. And that's no disrespect to Taylor Heinicke or knock at Taylor Heinicke. He's just a little immature in the grand scheme of being a quarterback in this league. So, Washington wins 24-23. We agree. Machines agree with us. The algorithms agree with us. You got to love it. Next game up here, what do we got? Lions at Vikings, and I think this is going to be a big win for this Vikings team. Unfortunately, we didn't get the good value we were kind of expecting to get in this game. This is why we're staying away from it, because it is a 10-point spread. We just don't want to swallow those points. We don't think that's the best value compared to the other 6 picks that we have. But I think this is a big game for the Vikings offensively. I think they get it done. And this Lions team, they kind of keep it close, so potentially a backdoor cover situation, even though they were getting blown out the entire game. This is why we're staying away from it. But we should, the Vikings should have no problem winning this game. I think the offense truly gets back on track, and I could kind of see 30 points here. So NFL.com predicts the game 30-21 here, a win for the Vikings. Win probability is at 70%. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say the win probability is 100%. Win probability here for the Vikings, straight up, not against the spread or anything like that, it's 100%. The Vikings don't lose this game, folks. I'll die on that. I mean, if you're looking for just a game to bet with no great value here, take the Vikings straight up minus 475. You put $10,000 on this, how much you win? You win $2,000. So, I mean, that's where the no value is. So, I mean, if you're looking for that, that's the game to do. Vikings don't lose this game, folks. No way. So win probability is at 70%. We have it at 100. The time that they made this video, the spread was -8. Now it keeps climbing. So, if you really were looking for the Vikings there, you truly missed your value because it jumped 2 points, folks. That's absolutely big. Spreads really don't change that drastically. Maybe a half a point, a full point here, but really never 2 points like that, like late in the week. So, yeah, there is no good value here in the Vikings. Please do not take the Vikings -10. That's not great value anymore. You've lost the value. Get the value while you can, folks. We stress that. We preach that here. All right, but they have the cover probability is at 52%. I would stay away from that, folks. No great value here. All right, next matchup up. What do we get? The Titans at the Jags, and the Titans, and this is one of our picks as well. Titans -4, and NFL.com has the Titans winning by 7 points, and yeah, that's fine. They win by a touchdown. We think the Jaguars can be competitive because Trevor Lawrence is good. We just don't think this defense is going to be able to stop Derrick Henry, especially, given their lack of trust and respect to Urban Meyer. They may not defensively, after getting punched in the mouth, because finally somebody that does something right here, Derrick Henry. Let's go to his stats because this man's getting like 30 carries a game, and that's exactly what you should be doing with Derrick Henry. So Frank Vogel, the offensive coordinator for the Titans, I'm blanking on your name. We don't have to set a bar for this team because they've been over exceeding the bar. 30 rushes a game by Derrick Henry. Let's get the numbers up here officially so y'all can see them. Here we go. Derrick Henry. Career stats, not career tata. I don't know why Google recommended that. I don't even know what the hell that means. But here we go. Derrick Henry. Look at these rushes a game. 17 game 1, just getting his feet wet a little bit. 35 game 2, 28 game 3, 33 game 4. That's what we want to see. That's exactly what we want to see. So they're doing it right there, and that's why we like the Titans here so much. Derrick Henry is going to be their main focus. We've seen all those kind of players for the Titans team not practicing this week. Julio Jones, A.J. Brown not really going next week. I think they're still a little questionable to go this week, so they're definitely going to rely on their bread and butter, and that is Derrick Henry. And this defense of the Jaguars, they're going to get punched in the mouth. We just read you there how many times they run it with Derrick Henry, and this man's a monster truck coming right at you. It's not like he avoids the contact, like, oh, I don't want to get hit, I'm going to run out of bounds or try to finesse you. He's like, I'll just run right through you. Y'all don't understand this man. In case y'all don't know how big this man is, he's 6'3", 247. I mean, this man is a monster, mammoth specimen of a man, and that's why we have him on the wall behind us, because he's fantastic. So NFL.com says Titans win 28-21. We absolutely love that. The -4, they cover that. Win probability is at 65% here for the Titans, and the cover probability is going to be great as well. Only 54%, really? Oh, interesting. I'd count that higher. We'll put that at 65% cover probability. So Titans on the road, they get the win. I don't think the Jaguars are ready to kind of forgive and respect Urban Meyer and go to bat for him, go to war for him, folks. I mean, we talk about it all the time. To play a single down in this league, you must be fully committed to your entire team. This is a brotherhood, blood, sweat, tears. You're going to battle for your brothers, for the people beside you. And if your coach is not respecting you and he's telling you, yeah, y'all take the plane, I'll catch the next one, and then he doesn't catch the next one, he catches a lap dance instead, and it's like, I'm not going to try and tackle Derrick Henry to make this man look good. It's not going to be consciously, folks. Like, I'm not saying that these players are actively going to kind of be like, well, I don't want to play. It's just like subconsciously everything that affects you, folks. So 28-21 by the Titans, we agree. What else you got for us machines? They're kind of agreeing with us so far. Obviously, the Bills-Chiefs one, nobody agrees with us on, but I think we'll be right at the end of the day. I've got no problem with that. Y'all don't have to agree with me. That's fine. That's fine. We're just talking sports here, folks. Everybody's got their own opinion. But let's go to this next game up here. Here we go. Wow, Broncos at Steelers, and they call this one 21-20 win for the Broncos here, and that's basically what the spread is. It's like Steelers -1, Broncos +1. Once again, no great value here. Really don't know how to call this game. Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think he's 100% ready to go. He still could potentially play. Do we have an update on Teddy B? I think he is still questionable with the concussion. Let's quickly take another look here since it is Saturday, and I think he was practicing yesterday, so that definitely kind of helps it out that he is going to play. So here we go. What do we got here? What is his status? Teddy Bridgewater is still questionable, unfortunately. So I think he does play, but if he doesn't, then we get Drew Lock. And I don't know. I think Drew Lock can, serviceably kind of win a game here and there. So I would just stay away from this game. No great value here. They're calling it a 1-point win. The spread's 1 point. They call this cover probability 54%. So they have the same cover probability as the Titans. That's why this makes no sense. How are you going to say the Titans win by 7, even though the spread is 4, and have that as a 54% cover probability, and then just say the Broncos +1 in a 1-point win is a 54% cover probability as well? I don't think those numbers are checking up. So I don't know what algorithm NFL.com is using, but I don't respect your algorithm. I don't respect your machines over there. Jeez. So yeah, I would stay away from this game. Well, I don't really know how to call this one. We'll see what Teddy Bridgewater can do on the road against his Steelers defense. We just watched him yesterday, or in our Wednesday film study, against the Ravens defense, and it's not like he was dinking and dunking like we kind of know Teddy Bridgewater can do. It's just the Ravens defense was getting after it, and there was just no separation by the receivers, and there was really nowhere to go with the ball. So, Teddy Bridgewater only putting up 7 points, it's kind of, we kind of understand it. But we'll see what this Steelers defense can do. And Big Ben, I don't even know. I guess we can set a bar for this Steelers offense. Let's go to the Steelers team. Let's try and set a bar for the Steelers team, because we all know it's lackluster. They've won one game. They're not moving the ball. Big Ben's not accurately moving the ball. Matt Canada, their offensive coordinator, is not scheming well. There's too much talent on the Steelers team. All right, Big Ben's arm is obviously not what it was in his prime. We all know this. It's declining. But Matt Canada should realize this and scheme the offense. We've got like 4 deep wide receivers. We got Najee Harris, and you still can't scheme to good, a competitive offense. What is that? So let's go to the Steelers team quickly. and just kind of get a bar on what we need to see this Steelers offense do this week. And they've got a tough opponent in the Broncos defense. This is a real defense as well. I mean, they were decently kind of shutting down the Ravens last week. They only allowed, 24 points, and they were always in the game. And I think they only put up 10 points in the first half, so it was still a game. But unfortunately, the offense couldn't move the ball, so it kind of unconsciously, like we say, affects the defense. But let's see what this offense has been doing here. Let's get this up. Oh, man. Here we go. Let's see what this offense has been doing so far this season. All right, yards a game. We get anything by game. I want to do by game here. Can we do by game? We've got 986 yards overall. Does it break it down in game by game? I want to see it game by game so we can get an accurate what we need to see. Does not break it down individually what they're doing per game. Yards per game, rushing yards per game, passing yards per game. It's not breaking it down here. So let's go back here and watch Big Ben. What's Big Ben doing? He threw for 380 yards game 3. He threw for 295 yards game 2. This is what we're talking about, but it's not resulting into wins. It's barely resulting into points. I mean, 17 points throwing 295 yards, 10 points throwing 318 yards. So I guess we just need to see points. Is that all we need to see? I mean, Najee Harris is putting up some solid rushing numbers. Let's get his numbers up. It's just weird. Yes, these numbers are good, but they're not converting for touchdowns and not getting any points out of any of these drives. So I guess the only bar that we really need to set is kind of a point total bar here. Let's get Najee Harris. I want to say did he ever have a 100-yard game yet? Rushing, not rushing, but we do know he's a dual threat running back. He had 102 yards receiving in game number 3. How great is that? So, I mean, yards here overall, yards from scrimmage. Where is that with Najee Harris at? So, I mean, he's almost putting up 100 yards a game, folks, and that's exactly what we want to see between the rushing and the receiving. So, they're getting it done. The yards are there. The points are. So, we've got to see the Steelers team. Let's remind you of their point total so far. They won with 23 points. They lost with 17. They lost with 10. They lost with 17. So it's just we've got to see them score the ball. That's all that's kind of wrong with this team. They're getting their yards that they need to get to kind of win the game. I mean, when you look at who's winning these games and what they're doing, these yards are kind of right on pace, right on par of what it takes to win in this league. So we just got to see the Steelers. I want to see 25 points out of them. The most points they've put up all season, 23 points is what it kind of takes to win so far. If they put up 27, they would have beat the Raiders. If they put up 25, they would have beat the Bengals. And if they put up 28, they would have beat the Green Bay Packers. So all we need to see is 25 points scored. That's it. We see 25 points. I'll call it a success here for the Steelers, either win or lose. That's not what we need to see. We need to see them put up the points. So they score 25 points. That's the bar we need to see for the Steelers this season or this game, folks, against the Broncos. Yeah, I would stay away from it because I don't know what Big Ben's going to be doing. I don't know what this offense is going to be doing, and we don't know what Teddy Bridgewater is going to look like. So. All right, next game up here, and one of our picks again, and this is our lock in NFL.com. I don't think this is what the game is, folks. They're calling it 24-21 at Panthers, right on that 3-point spread. Go figure. We love this Panthers team. Defensively, it's one of the best defenses in the league. Christian McCaffrey's back, so Sam Darnold can dink and dunk. They're at home here, and I'm not saying Sam Darnold doesn't air it out. I'm just saying in the grand scheme of thing, he doesn't really get it done in the clutch here, so having Christian McCaffrey back in the backfield to run the ball and for him to kind of, hey, pressure's here. I don't really want to force the ball down the field. I can check it down like we've seen Sam Darnold do. But this Panthers defense, I don't think this Eagles offense is ready to attack this Panthers defense. The Eagles offense had its best game against the Chiefs defense, and everybody's saying this Chiefs defense isn't that great, folks, in covering. So they gave up 30 points. They put up 30 points last week, which was great, what we wanted to see with this Eagles team. But now they're facing a real defense on the road. I don't think they score that many points here. I don't even know if they put up 21 points. I would say probably around 10 to 17 points here. And I think the Panthers, with their defense, creating some takeaways. And Sam Darnold, we've seen what Sam Darnold can do. He gets off to nice starts here. Another kind of comparison between this Panthers offense and the Bills offense is they don't really close the door on the teams. The Bills and the Panthers have faced lackluster teams thus kind of far overall. The Panthers just had their real test against the Cowboys, and what happened? They left the Cowboys in. They never really kind of closed out the Cowboys. It was a 14-13 lead for the Panthers going into halftime, and then Sam Darnold throws back-to-back interceptions, and the Cowboys take advantage, and they win the game. That's exactly what the Bills and the Panthers have been doing this entire season so far. Not closing out the door against lackluster opponents in the first half, and that bit the Panthers in the butt. Now this Eagles offense is not ready to perform here in Carolina with their defense, and Sam Darnold doesn't have to kind of close out the door here. So I think this is a big old win here for the Panthers. NFL.com calls it a 54% win probability for the Panthers, and let's see what the spread, the cover probability is at 51% for the Eagles, and they have the spread at Panthers -4. Did this spread open at Panthers -4, and then y'all bet it down to Panthers -3? What is that? Y'all were taking the Eagles +4? I think that's a bad bet, folks. I think that's kind of a, like a sucker bet. Like Vegas is kind of like, hey, the Eagles just put up 30 points. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. But we breaking down every single game up to week 5, folks. We know what we're talking about here. I don't think the Eagles are ready to perform offensively against this Panthers defense. Let's see where the spread opened up at, because I did not. I thought the spread opened up at 3. We look at the spread on Thursday's show, so we don't really know what the spread opens up at. So let's see what the spread opened up at. Score Mobile, shout out to Score Mobile. They track all this. But yeah, it opened up at Panthers -4. Damn, y'all gave us the value. Thank y'all for taking the Eagles +4, because we were able to get the Panthers -3, which we think is definitely gonna hit. So, alrighty, folks, we'll see who's right here, us or y'all, because y'all were betting that Eagles plus the points. I don't think that's the best bet. Alrighty, next game up here. What do we got? A couple more games left. Here we go. Next game up here is the Patriots at the Texans, and that's another generous score total here with the NFL.com saying the Dolphins are going to put up 18 points, saying that the Texans are going to put up 16 points. Laughable. Davis Mills, no disrespect, he's a rookie. He's not a first-round rookie, so a little bit more disrespect there, but, this man cannot play quarterback as of yet. Maybe he gets better. Obviously, he's a rookie, blah, blah, blah. We get it. But, yeah, he's trash right now, folks. Not good. He can't move the ball. He can't put up any points. Trash. And this Patriots defense with Bill Belichick just held Tom Brady to only 17 points, no touchdowns. So, how many points did the Patriots put up, or the Bucks put up last week? Doesn't really matter. They put up 19. Okay. Same thing. 19 points, 17 points. No big difference there. But, Patriots winning 26-16. Absolutely fantastic. We agree. The reason why we're staying away from this game is because, the spread is big. They didn't move up to 10 now. What do we got? What's the current spread? It's only 7.5. Did this go down? Were y'all betting this down? Wasn't this at, Patriots -8.5? We can keep up this video. What did they have it at? What were they talking about? At 9. Why are y'all betting the Texans plus the points? They can't move the ball. Jeez, I think y'all are betting down this value. Now I may take the Patriots -7.5. If y'all are betting it down, I'll take the value. If y'all are gonna give us the value, we'll take the value. Damn. Patriots -7.5. Sheesh. So NFL.com predicts the Patriots win by 10. Win probability, what'd they say it's at? Win probability is at 71%, absolutely. Cover probability is at 52%. Now it should go up even more because y'all bet it down to Patriots -7.5. Wow, y'all are changing the value here. I can't believe this. Y'all are single-handedly betting the value to great value now. What else have y'all been betting up? Let's take a look at these lines. What else has changed? What else value are y'all going to open up for us? Jeez. Jets are still at, now Jets are at +2.5. Now y'all are doing something smart here. Y'all were taking the Jets +3, so it comes down to Jets +2.5. That was the great bet right there. That was the value y'all gobbled up. All right, I respect y'all for that. Eagles Panthers has moved from the point, like we've already said. Packers Bengals is still at +3. Patriots Texans coming down to 7.5. Titans Jaguars still about 4.5. Broncos Steelers, now it's Broncos -1.5. Wasn't it Broncos +1.5? Y'all are really getting rid of all the value here. Sheesh. Let me double check this one. Let's track where this spread was at, because now it's Broncos -1.5, and I'm not taking that. Yeah, wow, y'all. Wow. -1.5. And then it was at wow. It was at Broncos +1.5. Some of y'all, I don't know where y'all are. Wow, these spreads, folks. Y'all are changing these spreads. Saints Washington is still at +2.5. Lions Vikings now at 10. We've already talked about that one. Dolphins Bucks. Dolphins +9.5. Browns Chargers 2.5 spread right there. We locked it in at 2. Bears Raiders 5.5 spread right there. That one's staying the same. Giants Cowboys is at 7. 49ers Cardinals at 5. Bills Chiefs. Bills at +2.5. Raiders Colts. So Ravens Colts still at 6.5. So y'all have really changed the spread of like 3 or 4 games out here. Crazy. All right, and then I think we get 2 more games out here. The London game, they say the Jets win 23-21. We agree. We think the Jets plus the points right there. If you got it at +3, I thought that was great value. +2.5 and a half a point kind of potential loss right there on a field goal. Unfortunate. Maybe buy up the half a point. But Jets winning probability is at 52% and cover probability is at 58%. Yeah, I think that's the highest cover probability we have seen so far today. So, yeah, take that +3, get that +2.5, whatever you've got it in at. And that's the last game. They don't cover the Monday night game. Did we talk about Colts Ravens? Oh, we did. All right. Oh, that's all the games, folks. So overall, the machines are kind of agreeing with us. The Bengals +3 is a good pick. They don't agree with the Chiefs -3. They say the Bills win outright. We don't agree with the machines there. So, alrighty, folks. We'll come back out on Monday. See who's right, us or the machines. Us or the machines, folks. Who was right? We'll see.